Good day, everyone. This is Piney Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello. Everything's going fine over here, and how are things going over in Ravenloft?
Not too bad.
No nasty adventures coming into...
Well, there have been, but, they all died because, that's what I do to them. So it's,
okay.
It's what
Well,
happens when you're in Ravenloft, you die.
Except for one certain group of people?
Yeah, except for them, which their time is coming, trust me.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's go into the hotfix release notes. And anything nice in the hotfix?
It was a lot of fixes to the newer quest. The new quest, Good Intentions, got a lot of fixes, which I ran that actually before the fix and ran into the problems that was fixed by the hotfix. So I'm glad to see them fixing that. What it is large animated objects will no longer be healed by fire.
Healed by fire?
Yeah, it was not a good thing when you have people in your party that like to cast Firewall, and we very quickly discovered that was a bad idea because they were getting healed by the Firewall.
Okay, I presume you weren't doing something like fighting fire elementals or anything like that.
No, I don't want to spoil it because you haven't done the the quest yet, but yeah, no, there was no fire elementals involved.
All right, so it wasn't something that would logically heal by fire.
No, it should logically be hurt by fire to be spoiler-free for you.
All right.
Also, the regular animated objects in the quest will no longer be harmed by positive energy, nor will no longer be healed by negative energy. We ran into that as well. They also fixed an issue where players could start the end fight without collecting the proper ingredients to do so.
All right, this seems like there was a bug or two in that instance.
And in another new quest, Memoirs of an Illusionary Larcener, the Elven Rangers now have their death animations in place. Some of the physics have been adjusted to help prevent some stuck spots. The quest will now display in the Adventure Compendium, and the door at the start of the quest is now a door in both practice and in name. Apparently somebody had a talk with the door. Also, new quest hotfixes included for Search and Rescue. They corrected the Dungeon Master text timing in the final fight, corrected an issue that could cause the music to stop playing prematurely, fixed the NPC's teleport to safety effects, and the map to the Drow optional area will now display correctly. And they also did a little bit of stuff for the Defiler of the Just raid. They reduced the numbers of reinforcements that spawn in the raid and adjusted the remaining reinforcements' melee and range damage accordingly. That is to help combat lag a little bit. And a delay has been added between the double reinforcement spawns. Once again, only in the Defiler of the Just raid, just to help with the lag situation. And that is pretty much it for the hotfix. Just some fixes to the new quest.
Sounds like a pretty long list, though.
Yes, it was. Sorry, I muted myself there.
All right. Then let's head into the list of known issues. They posted a list both before and after the hotfix. So therefore, anything you see that's in the list now should be something that is currently a known issue.
We hope. The teleportation... let's try that again. The teleportation platform near the chest on the airship in Memoirs of an Illusionary Larcener is the ramp rather than the chest. None of the Update 31 quests are registering in the monster manual, so you are not getting the kills, and those are not counting for your monster manuals. They did say they're looking into that problem, and that should be fixed soon, hopefully. There is a known issue with the Kensai Strike with no thought, giving an improper insight bonus to the critical multiplier. This will be changed in a future patch to benefit proper listed competence bonus. Words are hard. And also there is a couple other known issues for the fighter Kensai that they will be taking care of in a next patch. The opportunity attack, 2 charges, melee attack deals +1, 2, 3. Accordingly, your melee power is boosted by 10 for 6 seconds each time you damage an opponent, but no more than once per second. But you do have a 10% chance to add a charge up to a maximum of 2. So that's one of the new enhancements that are going to be added. And then Liquid Courage will be added in. And this was originally called the Drunken Master, but they changed it, which I think the Drunken Master was a much better title than Liquid Courage, but hey, it's just me. After drinking a potion or a drink, your increase positive healing amplification for 50 for 30 seconds. So that is another new enhancement that will be added to the Kensai tree in the next patch, whenever that might be.
Right, then let's head into the loot. Everyone likes loot. In this case, we're talking about the loot for the Update 31 named items.
And we did talk about this last week a little bit because there was the preliminary post-up, but we didn't know any names of any of the items. And we didn't have any chance to see what some of the stuff looked like. And as they always do, they put up this information for us to see. So now we know all the good stuff that we can get in the 3 Update 31 quest.
I thought it was funny that the tooltips they're showing for the animated rope includes a string error in it.
Yes, that was pointed out several times on the forums. The irony was not lost on anybody.
Okay.
And after seeing the hardened hide armor, I have to say I like the look of that armor, and I want to get that to glamour it now because I really like the look of that armor for some reason.
Ooh, yeah.
That is some pretty sweet looking armor. Because that is my one biggest complaint with DDO is the armors are not that great. So it's good to see them adding some. And the new Drow Outrunner armor is not bad either, actually. But I really like the look of that hardened hide armor.
Well, see, that's because Stormreach doesn't have any good armors because everyone knows that the best armors in all the universe come from Dunland, right?
Yeah. Wrong universe, finally.
I know, wrong universe. But yeah, that has to be that I think some of the best armors I've seen coming out of Turbine were done during the Dunland update.
Yeah, that is one thing in Lothar. They do have some pretty amazing looking armors. But yeah, we have the, animated rope, the bracers of the sun and the moon, the dashing gloves, the Drow Outrunner armor. We have the earthen mantle, the empowered dragon scale, festering mummy wrappings. That's a pretty cool name. The aforementioned hardened hide armor. And we have the heartwood, the hypnotic pendant, the knife-toed boot, the mage-right tools, the pansophic circlet, and the parmentional lenses. And that is the names of the new loots. And like as I said, there will be a link in the show notes. You can click over on the official posting over on the DDO site, and you can see pictures of some of these. If not, you can at least see all the tooltips for these.
And they also posted some new information, or more likely an update, on the lag and game performance improvements that they have been making over the last few weeks.
Yes, Cordovan posted this on Friday the 13th. And
fun.
Yeah. No, well, I won't say anything. He said, I will figure we should end the week with a bit of a status report. We did work this week to improve game performance in Defiler of the Just, and at last, initially, the results seem quite positive. We will be able to say more definitively on both this and other improvements as time goes on. It's true that we rebooted the worlds yesterday, so we will be monitoring how things change over time. And yesterday, which would have been Thursday the 12th, we ran some tech on Arganessen that is being looked at to see if it delivers on smoothing out server spikes. The tech has some issues like breaking Von 4, which is very bad if it's breaking a quest. But if the data shows a significant improvement, they will do further work to remove these issues before putting the tech in place. Then he ends it by saying, overall, lag in parties and smaller raid groups is greatly improved over what it was, say, a month ago. We are continuing to work on identifying and resolving the sources of lag, including an investigation into the so-called guild renown lag.
Guild renown lag?
I have not seen it myself, but I think it boils down to that if you're in a smaller guild, you don't see it. But people that are in larger guilds and guilds that are above level 100 renown are saying that when they receive guild renown in a chest or something, you know how you normally find those in chest? When they open the chest and they grab that out of the chest, it's causing a severe lag spike. Like I said, I haven't seen it myself. I'm in a small guild. I've talked to some other people that are in small guilds. They haven't seen it, but then I saw people on the forums posting about it, and they're all in larger guilds, but they're saying it literally grinds the game to a halt when they get guild renown in a chest. So Turbine's looking into that to seeing why small guilds aren't seeing it and large guilds are getting it. So that is definitely something they're looking into and trying to figure out what's going on with that.
All right. And then we have a discussion of crafting and what their plans are in improving that in the future.
No worries, posted over on the forums. This is an early look at the main proposal for Kenneth Crafting. As such, there isn't much in the way of specific numbers and comparisons, but it is more focused on the overall general design of the system. That also means there are things that could change from what have been discussed due to technical limitations, balance, or a number of any other reasons. But we did want to include players in this early look and get some discussion so that themes, directions could be adjusted before it is all in place and only minor changes can be made. So to sum up what they're looking to do with the crafting system is existing crafting experience will carry over to the new system. I know that was a big question a lot of people had if they were going to totally revamp crafting. Were we going to have to start completely over with our experience? Were we going to lose everything? So the answer, as of right now, what they're looking to do is no. All your experience will carry over. The existing essences will also be exchangeable to the new system. Kenneth Crafting will be as powerful as normal random loot. Marks of House Kenneth will allow a third effect slot to be added on Kenneth crafted items. There will be some effects unique to both Kenneth Crafting and the random loot system. Ammo and runestones that are currently craftable will still exist in the new system. Kenneth items will still have the options to be bound and unbound. Kenneth Crafting will be streamlined to improve the crafting experience, and they may adjust the Kenneth leveling curve. And they do know deconstructing is one of the most time-consuming aspects of Kenneth Crafting, and they are looking into ways to reduce this, but he does not have the answers on how that will work as of yet. So that is the quick little elevator pitch of what they are going to do to crafting. And we are going to have to get Lessa on the show to hear her opinions on this because I know she is the resident crafter. Neither you or I craft whatsoever.
Right. Then let's head into the DDO Chronicle where we have issue 190. We are getting only 10 away from the big 200. And it looks like we've got an Umber Hulk on the...
We do. The Umber Hulks seem to be everywhere this update, and they are on the Chronicle cover now. In the Community Spotlight section, LSD 37's Character Builder Lite has been updated for Update 31. So if you're using the Character Builder Lite, be sure you are running the latest version. And Gardner and Marn is continuing his Korthos greeting program over on Orion. So click over to learn about what he is doing. To sum it up, there will be a character standing on Korthos that you can talk to get tips, tricks, and other things for new players. So it's kind of nice to see him trying to get some new player involvement.
Right. Now that looks like Grander Marn to me.
Okay, however you want to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Names are hard. Words are tough, names are hard. In the event section, we've got the Munchkin Summer Games. They are going to begin in June. So if you want to partake in the Summer Games, you have time to get ready for them. Looking at the fan site news, DDO Gamer has created a monster-themed word search. Click over and see if you can find all of the monsters in the word search. DDO Cast discusses the D&D in DDO in their latest debates, and what that was is how pen and paper is DDO and how pen and paper should it be. And that featured myself and Samus Garobo, and I am blinking on the third person. I apologize who was there, but that was a really fun debate. So listen to that episode to hear my pitch on what needs to be added, and it was just a fun debate. Also, the Damsels of DDO are heading into Thunderholm, so click over and see their experiences in there. And the Shady Rogues find a shipwrecked spy, so make sure you watch the latest episode from the Rogues. And Edric celebrates the Treasure Hunters Weekend, so click over to see what Edric has to say about that. Our Chronicle comment for this Chronicle Pine Leaf is, how much can a Kensai say?
I'm trying to figure out the purpose of this question. So obviously there's some sort of context I'm missing on this.
I gathered it was a play on the how much can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would, yeah, I can't say that, so yeah. I gathered it was a play on that.
So they're saying then that that's pronounced as Kensei then?
Yes, it's Kensei.
Okay, that's the...
So how much can a Kensei say?
If a Kensei could say?
There you go. See, I was going to attempt to do that, but there would be no way I could do that. Because, again, words are hard, finally. But my answer to that question is nothing, because he lets his swords do his saying for him.
Ah, okay. He has one of those talking swords?
There you go. That's right. And finally, in the Chronicle, we do have the Chronicle screenshot of the week. And that is Inquisitus is drawn to the power of the 12 in the 270th official DDO screenshot of the week. And that is a pretty cool shot of the Tower of the 12 with the lightning coming off of it. He got a perfectly timed screenshot of that, I think.
All right. Then let's head into our store sales. And is there anything hot for sale this week?
There is the free sample of the week through the 19th is the Lasting Potion of Resist Fire. You will get 5 of those when you use the coupon code NOHEAT.
So not very hot then.
Not very hot.
Yes.
But the important thing is the vanity codes are back. And they're even better this time because they make sense now.
Yes, we did used to have a lot of trouble trying to figure out now. What does that mean?
Right. That's right. We don't have to play what does this code actually mean game anymore. Now they make sense.
Yeah, I mean, even better was the one because they had the equivalent in Lotro to the Bracelet of the Friends is the simple rally horn, and therefore the code this week was sound the horns. It's like, wait, nice and simple.
Logic. It makes sense.
Logic.
20% off in the store this week. The shared bank storage, character bank upgrades, the select storage bags, and the shared bank platinum vault, all 20% off. And also, all this week, they are featuring flash sales. What that is there is different 24-hour sales each day. You can get the details when you log into the game and open up the DDO store. That will be the first thing that you see. It will say flash sales, and SC Trader did post over on the forums a little bit more about these. It says these sales will flip over at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time each day. The 7th and final flash sale will end at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, May 19th. And SC Trader does go on to say, be sure to log in all the way to the character before you open the DDO store. So do not open it on, how when you're on the character screen, you can actually go into the store. Do not do that. Actually log into the game with your character completely in the game world and then open the DDO store. And you should be able to fully see the flash sales. When you then open the store, you will be able to scroll through the rotator slides to see the one for the flash sales, but that has been updated. They have now changed that. That is the first slide that you see. So be sure you're checking every 24 hours for the flash sale. And I know before we started recording, you looked at the flash sale. And can you remember what you said it was? I don't remember what you said.
Yes, and it must have been really forgettable because I forgot it.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, and I don't remember either. Wow, we are just professional tonight.
Well, then let's face it. Anyone that's listening to this after we post it up at the website is probably going to be too late in order to get it anyway.
That's right. It's only going to affect people that are in the chat. So people in the chat, go right now to the store and find out what it is because we're professionals and didn't write it down.
Very well. So let's head into the DDO Players News, where you interviewed someone by the name of Mark Reinhagen of Make Believe Games.
Yes,
can you believe that?
I can't believe this, actually, Pineleaf, because with this interview, I got a check mark on my bucket list.
What?
Yes. I have. See, you probably didn't even know I had a bucket list.
No, I guess not.
Much less that this interview with Mark Reinhagen of Make Believe Games would let me get a check mark on my bucket list.
Ooh, what? He introduced you to Felicia Day?
No, I wish. No. That is also on the bucket list, but that's besides the point. No, he is the creator of a small little RPG you might have heard of called Vampire the Masquerade.
Ah, okay.
Yes, he is the one that created that. Of course, he also created the whole World of Darkness. He created Mage, Ars Magica. He did a lot of things. He also worked on the TV show that was based on Vampire the Masquerade, which was called Kindred the Embraced. I
presume he also worked on Jihad then?
Yeah, he had a little bit of a hand in that. We did talk about that in the interview. He wasn't too involved in it, but he did have his hand in it. So, but right now he is working on a new game called Toxicity I Am Zombie, and that game is up on Kickstarter right now. So we talked about that. We talked about, of course, Vampire. I had to ask him about Vampire the Masquerade. We had quite the conversation about that and about the Kindred the Embrace television show, and it was just a great interview. Mark is a fun guy to talk to, and I think the interview went well. So click over and give that a watch on YouTube or a listen to the audio version. And if you get the audio version, there is some bonus content at the end that is not on the YouTube version.
Ooh.
So we want to thank him for taking time out. We had to play, as I said in the interview at the beginning of the video, we had to play the time zone conversion game because he lives in Tbilisi, Georgia, not the state of Georgia, but the Republic of Georgia. So he, I think, is 12 time zones away from me, and I'm on the Eastern time zone, and I think we figured it out. He's 12 time zones different. So it was quite the game of figuring out what time would work good for both of us. So once again, thanks to him for taking some time out of his evening, because it was early evening for him when we recorded that. So give that a listen. But yes, check mark on the bucket list.
All right. Then let's hear what we have from the dungeon. And the new Dungeons & Dragons storyline will be revealed on June 1st.
It will. They are going to go all out for it, too. They are going to do a live stream from Meltdown Comics live in Los Angeles. Allison Hayslip, who you might know from her work on G4, among other things she's done, she is going to be the host of this, and they are going to be revealing what the new storyline is for Dungeons & Dragons. And also, during that, she is going to be having some interviews with Dungeon Master Extraordinary Chris Perkins, Mike Merles, and Rob Obermeyer, who is the executive producer of the Neverwinter games. And they did say a few other D&D personalities will stop by as well. But that is not all.
Not all?
Matt Mercer, of course, the Dungeon Master on the crazy popular Geek and Sundry Critical Role show, is going to be running a D&D game as well, and that is going to be the kickoff to the 5th storyline for the new version of D&D. So we're going to see what's going on with that. Now, there are rumors, and I did have a couple of people on Twitter ask why we're not talking about this, because it's just rumors. There is some crazy rumors out there that people know what it is, because there was a site in Germany that for a small time had a pre-order up for a new Dungeons & Dragons sourcebook, but that page has now been taken down, so that's probably an indication that it was correct. But since that is actual not verified, we are not going to talk about that at all. So you can search it fairly easy if you actually want to see what people are saying it's involving. But if that is correct, it's going to be very, very interesting.
As opposed to the not very interesting storylines of Ravenloft Elemental Evil.
Well, it's just they're going to combine. Well, I'm trying to think of how to word this without actually
saying anything.
Well, yeah, because I don't want to give credit to the rumor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got a point there. Okay.
It's going to combine another classic series in D&D, but it's going to mix it with Shakespeare. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
If that is true. If it's true, it's going to be rather interesting how it is done.
Yes. I could just imagine. We'll do Lair of the Gazebo in iambic pentameter.
But yes, this will be the D&D live from Meltdown Comics. Will be on June 1st, and we will know then. And that live stream starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And that will be over on the official D&D Twitch channel.
Right. Then let's head into the Pathfinder Adventure card game, Mummy's Mask, coming this fall.
And this sounds awesome, actually. Heroes will brave terrible guardians, foul cults, and the burning sands of the desert to stop the rebirth of an ancient tyrant in this cooperative strategy game that pits 1 to 4 players against the monsters, curses, and traps of the Mummy's Mask adventure path for the Pathfinder role-playing adventure card game. Players will choose their character class. They will build the deck of equipment, magic, and allies, and explore the dangerous locations as they journey through an exciting fantasy tale. This is going to include 500 cards, 7 character classes, a wide array of gear and magical treasures, the Half-Dead City adventure deck, and a complete set of 5 dice in case you need some dice. But I don't know why you would. Everybody should have plenty of dice on hand. But if not, you'll get 5 dice with this. And there will also be a supplemental deck that you can get to add on more characters and more magical treasures and gear to aid you as you take on the Mummy's Mask adventure path. This is coming later this year, looking like October. They're kind of shooting for right around Halloween, before Halloween. The suggested retail on it is $59.99. Right now, it is only available for pre-order on the Paizo web store, but soon you will be able to pre-order it from your friendly local game store and also on Amazon. So it looks like mummies are coming to the Pathfinder adventure card game system.
Well, considering that I have yet to actually play the Pathfinder adventure card system yet.
It's really fun. It really, really is fun. And I usually don't like deck type building games, but I really, really enjoy the Pathfinder game because it is done well.
All right. Then let's head into what we have on the tabletop. And I must say that the cover art of We Come in Peace does not exactly indicate that they're coming in peace.
I'm going to say, it doesn't scream peace to you, finally. It's an awesome cover art, though. This is coming from Rather Dashing Games, and as you said, it is called We Come in Peace. This is going to release this August at Gen Con. They say, ready your blasters and scramble your missiles in this game of chaos. The alliance of 6 planets has come to an end, and now you must do what it takes to defend your homeworld from the hordes of flying saucers that darken the skies and lay waste to your cities.
So this is a board game version of Space Invaders?
In a way, yes. It is a invasion dice game is what they're calling it. You will use your invasion dice to send flying saucers to destroy the opponent's homeworlds while reserving defense dice to protect your own world. During the conflict, you must use your limited resources to repel the invaders, rebuild your destroyed cities, and assault the opponent's planets. At the end of the game, the planet that has suffered the least damage will be the victor. So look for We Come in Peace coming this August. It'll be released at Gen Con, and then they said soon after it will be available everywhere. And I did actually talk to Grant Wilson of Rather Dashing Games today, and we are going to set up a interview with them and a little playthrough of this at Gen Con this year. So look for that coming as part of our Gen Con coverage.
All right. Then I presume we come in peace is what Voldemort and the Death Eaters said?
Oh, you said the word, Pineleaf. That is the name that shall not be mentioned. Bad things are going to happen now.
Oh, well. Anyway, looks like USAopoly is bringing out a cooperative deck-building game based on the Harry Potter series on Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle.
There is not a lot known about this yet, but what we do know is the forces of evil seem to be threatening to overrun Hogwarts Castle. This is going to be a new cooperative game, which I know Pineleaf's ears perked up about that because he just loves co-op games. It's up to the 4 students to ensure the safety of the school by defeating villains and consolidating their defenses. Players will take on the role of a Hogwarts student by the name of Harry, Ron, Hermione, or Neville. Don't know who any of those people are, but yes, you're going to be able to play them. I don't know why nobody would want to. Each with his or her own personal deck of cards, which is used to acquire new resources by gaining influence. Players can add more cards to their deck in the form of iconic characters, spells, and magical items. Other cards will allow them to regain their health or fight the villains, keeping them from gaining power. The villains will be able to sit back players with their attack and use of the dark arts. Only by working together will the players be able to defeat all the villains, securing the castle from the forces of evil and saving Hogwarts. This is set to come out later in the year. They're saying September or October. Don't have a full release date or anything more is known about it, but definitely one to look out for if you're a big Harry Potter fan.
Then let's head then into Block by Block, the Insurrection game. And you have a Kickstarter update for them?
We do. We have been talking about this for a while, and we did do a preview on this, and we had an interview with them as well. It looks like their Kickstarter has 29 hours to go, and congratulations to Out of Order Games, because they are fully successfully funded. As I said, as we record this, 29 hours to go, they are at $42,838 of their $35,000 goals, so they are working on the stretch goals. And the next stretch goal, as we record, stalling for time as I scroll down, will be at $45,000. That is going to be special edition art for all the loot tokens with custom graffiti. So that
Custom graffiti.
that's the next one to be unlocked for them. So once again, congratulations to Out of Order Games for getting their first Kickstarter successfully kickstarted.
Right. Then let's head into our week in DDO, where we go over any highlights we had during the weekend. What did you do?
I actually did quite a bit this week. We will start with my rogue, who is now level 8. That is the one that I am running with my friend, who is running a wizard. So we have a wizard and a rogue running around. We went back into the Temple of Elemental Evil Part 1, because, last week I said we had jumped in there and we got the club for the Earth Elementals, but that's as far as we got. Well, this time we successfully completed Part 1 of the Temple. The only real time that we had problems was at, of course, the end boss fight.
Yeah, that can make it a little bit challenging.
I had, told my friend, I told him, you take the club, make sure you have it active. And then I told him the Earth Elemental in there, hit it with the club, and then we can use him to help us. The fight goes a lot easier. But I said the trick is, you have to grab him out of the Earth section and take him over to the water. The stupid thing did not move. He would not move out of the Earth Elemental section at all.
Yeah, that sounds like it sometimes happens.
So we did actually manage to successfully get it done, though. We both died, unfortunately, but we did have a couple hirelings with us, and they managed to actually finish the dungeon for us. I had just killed the main boss, And then it was kind of one of those very climactic fights where I killed him, but he killed me at the same time. So we both died at the same time. So that just left the fire elemental, who had hardly any health left, and the earth elemental was the only two that were left, and the hirelings managed to take them off. So then both of us had to go to the store and buy a cake to munch on a cake to get back alive.
Right.
And then, so we managed to do that. Then we got to the end, and there was no good loot in the chest.
Of course.
Wah, wah, wah. So then,
you were expecting loot?
Not really. No, not at this point. Oh, we'll talk about loot in a little bit. Finally,
okay.
You will see how evil the RNG actually is in just a bit. Then we also hopped in to Three Barrel Cove. We did Garl's Tomb, did that on hard. Ran both quest of those, the Troglodyte's Get and Old Grey Garl. Didn't have any problems on that at all. And during Old Grey Garl, as we finished that one, that's when I actually dinged to level 8.
All right.
Then on my level 20 Ranger that I used to play with you, but since we switched and we rolled new characters, now I just had this Ranger sitting around, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to run the new quest. So I hopped into Good Intentions, was running it on hard, didn't have very many problems. It's kind of tricky in parts, but if you're, kind of think about how you pull things and do things, it's not too bad. So got to the end fight, killed the boss. That end fight is quite difficult, actually. At least I thought it was, but I managed to do it. Pop open the chest. Here is what I got in my chest. 250 gold pieces and a cloak of acid resistance.
Okay.
That's it. We'll just let that sink in a second. That's all that was on the chest.
Well,
Now, I know the RNG hates me, but really? A cloak of acid resistance and 250 gold. Really? So, yeah. So I was like, screw you, RNG. And then on my Ranger that is level 15 right now, that is the one, of course, that I am doing the static group with Mithri, Subajade, and Rentapone. We, too, did Good Intentions on hard, but we were doing that post-hotfix, so that's when we actually found out that fire, very bad, because fire heals the things. And we are only level 15, but we set it on hard, which made the quest 17, because that's just how we do things. And then it was extremely tough, because every time Myth would throw it on a firewall or anything, hey, look, everybody's getting healed. So yeah, it was quite the adventure we had. But we did manage to actually finish it, and did get a name drop that time out of that chest. Got the Mage Rights tools dropped for me, but I passed them to Saba, because she is a rogue type character, and I'm a ranger, so they did absolutely no use for me. But I do want those for my rogue, because they have really good stats on them. So that was kind of exciting to actually get a name drop for once. But see, I just chucked that out to Rent, Saba, and Mithri was there, so that's why the RNG was kind. Because
it was kind to give you something that someone else needed instead.
Right, see, exactly. And then the only other thing I did in game is I decided when I went to log in, I noticed it's like, okay, I have a Draculetta on every server but Orion. That is the only one for some reason I never created a Drac on. So I logged into Orion, made a new character, got it all set up the way I wanted it to look, typed in the name Draculetta, and I was denied. It said that character name is already in use.
What?
So somebody stole my name on Orion. So if you play on Orion and you see a Draculetta running around, just know that is not me. It is an imposter, and I shall hunt them down and make them give me my name back. Because that is rude. It is rude to steal your name. Very rude.
What if the person thinks that you stole their name? not even dignified to have an answer to that one, huh?
Well, no, I was trying to think of what to say, but I couldn't think of anything that I wouldn't have to bleep, so we'll just leave it at that. But so if you're the Draculetta that is running around Orion, give me my freaking name back, people. So all the Orion players just know, not me. It is not me.
All right. And anything else?
And Ninth One in the chat is saying, "Are the perpetrator can just kill the two now, and it need not go any further." Smiley face. That's right. Because bad things will happen if I don't get my name back on Orion. Just saying. I know people. And that's all I did this week, other than what I did with you. So, Pineleaf, what did we do on our gnomes?
Very well, on my gnome, I ran from House Kandarik. We ran the Chamber of Insanity, where there was this trap that zapped me because we thought there was one trap there. Drac removed the trap, and it's okay, now fine, and whack!
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That was kind of funny.
Then we did the Lair of Summoning, the Forgotten Caverns, the Ruined Halls, and we did all of those on hard. Then we came to Taming the Flames, which was at our level. We were level 6 at the time, and actually might have been... Actually, no, that was actually done at 7, Taming the Flames.
And to go back to the Chamber of Insanity, the reason why you died is because I neglected to get the other trap box. There was 2.
Yeah.
And 2 traps. So, yeah. Or I could have just been trolling you, too.
Well, there's always that possibility.
It's like, oh, yeah, I took care of the trap. But I would never do such a thing, because that would just be wrong, Pineleaf.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you are an evil GM or anything like that.
Yeah, who would try to kill other players? That is just not nice.
Yeah. With that said, then we'll head into what I did on my Elf Warlock, where it was time to head back into the Temple of Elemental Evil and see if I could finish it, because last time I did the early parts of it to get some money, so this time it was to seriously see how far I could get. I went through there, and I found my first Umber Hulk. I mean, that was...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. You haven't ran the new quest yet, so you haven't seen the Umber Hulks in action yet, have you?
Right, so that was my first Umber Hulk after the release of the matter, so I continued along in there, and I got all the way to the end of Part 1, and in the boss fight, I decided to try to pull the Earth Elemental out of the Earth area and bash him so that he will fight the other thing, and the Earth Elemental refused to turn sides. And I didn't realize that he was refusing to turn sides until I got killed. So, yeah. My hireling lasted much longer than I did, but I wonder, okay, because the Earth Elemental was definitely outside of the home area.
You know, I have had that happen to me one other time I was in there.
Yeah, so therefore, I am going to, assuming I remember to, I'm going to try it again this week, and this time just blast beats. I believe that when I succeeded last month with the human, I believe that all I was doing was blasting them to smithereens and not worrying about trying to turn the Earth Elemental or anything like that. And also, related to the Temple of Elemental, I was watching the Shady Rogues on their Part 1.
Oh, yeah.
I finally got around to seeing them do Part 1 of the Temple, and it's like... It's incredible. They were level 13. They're running it at level 9, and the temple was really handing it to them.
Well, this is the Shady Rogues we're talking about.
Well, yes, it is a Shady Rogues one.
I love the Shady Rogues. I really do.
So it could also be that when you have to be really sharp in order to be able to get through it when it's on Elite, because, yeah. But that is actually the first time I heard the music to the Temple of Elemental, because I tend to play without music, because sometimes I do recordings and I tend to forget to turn the music back on.
Isn't that awesome music in there?
Yeah. So sometime I'll have to remember to turn it on when I'm actually playing it.
Oh, that must be why every time that we're playing and I say something about music, it usually just like goes over your head, because I'll say something, I love this music. And, and you're like, huh?
Yeah.
So now I know why. Okay, now it makes sense.
We currently have 25 supporters on Patreon, and if you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host with us here on DDO Players News. And this week, we have a iTunes review.
We have two
iTunes
of them. Not
yes,
one,
two of them.
Two iTunes reviews.
Yes. The first one is from DJ Kimber, who on April 26th wrote, "Evil Pine Leaf is dead to me."
That's awesome.
Keep the show, guys. Love the mix of DDO, board games, and D&D product reviews. Just make sure Pine Leaf gets out from under the rock and watches some classic movies.
Yes, I agree. Let me guess, you still haven't watched Labyrinth yet, have you?
Still haven't gotten around to that, yeah.
Pine Leaf. What are we going to do with you? And then the other review that we got is another 5-star review entitled Excellent. And this is from, I don't even know how to begin to pronounce that. Vert.
Oh, it's the Vertach.
That will work. It's Vertagk. So however you want to pronounce that, there you go. And he does say, or he or she, I guess, it says, note, this is a joint review for the Lotro Academy, Lotro Players News, and the DDO Players News podcast. So as such, I will be posting a copy of this review for each podcast. I strongly recommend this podcast to anyone interested in the material covered. In our case, it would be Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop board games. Professionally done, the content is always up to date and entertaining. The hosts are well-informed and friendly. Each adds his or her own quirks to the ensemble, enhancing the overall appeal. They are the type of people that once you have listened to them long enough, they almost seem like you have become your own friends. And perhaps most importantly, the show is clean. As a Christian, it has become harder and harder for me to find gaming podcasts that actually have clean content, even when listed as clean. And you were going to say, Pine Leaf?
I said, even when listed as clean,
Yeah, I've seen some shows that say they're clean, but they're actually not. But Anyway, back to his review. As even clean, even though the shows say they're clean, they bleep out the F and the S words, but they will fail to bleep out misuse of the Lord's name. Not so here. Aside from the occasional OMG, which is mild enough not to warrant a reduction in the rating, the hosts are vigilant to keep their speech inoffensive to all. This is something I, at least, am grateful for. I guess you could say that they cast responsibly. You will understand that once you listen. That was pretty funny. I like that. I look forward
yes.
I look forward to each new episode each week, and keep up the great work, everyone. So thanks for the 2 5-star reviews we got this week. That's awesome.
Ooh. Then let's head into our featured comment, which is from Judy Inez from Confessions of a Geek Mom blog on Harry Potter Hogwarts Battle Cooperative Deck Building game coming from USAopoly. I so hope that this will be out in time for Pink's birthday in September.
And Pink, if you did not know, is her daughter.
All right.
So apparently, Pink, if you're listening, if that game is out, happy birthday. That's what you're getting. Spoiler alert. I guess.
Now, while we did have reviews and featured comments, we did not have any emails. But if you'd like to send us one, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @PineleafNews. You could also join us at our Steam group. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News every other every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have Lotro Players News every other Saturday. After Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. And on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lotro Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf News reminding you to quest responsibly.